You're lying. This is absolutely what you want. It's the perfect fetish for someone as low-functioning and socially inept as you. You want someone completely won over by your words, somebody completely under your influence. Isn't that the easiest way to prove to them you're not defective? Judith drives forward and presses her arm, warm, voluptuous figure against me. She moves her perfect pink lips to my ear, her breath hitting my naked brain like a bullet of steam. So just tell me what else you want, and then we can get started. What I want? I want... I want to watch a movie with you. Your choice, I don't even care. Just please get off. Just please get me off. I mean, get off me. Please get off me. Then why didn't you say so earlier, silly? Let's watch something lighthearted this time. I want our last day together to be a fun one, okay? And just like that, she's completely back to normal. And she gets up to find the movie, and I try to drown the weight in my stomach with a mouthful of sweet tea. But all this does is turn the brick of lead in my gut into a cube of grainy, disgusting sugar. I'm pretty much out of time, and so I go back to Violet's house and pack the rest of my things. After a while, Miss Lawrence pulls into the driveway. She says we shouldn't bother trying to make it to Orlando, however. Apparently an absurd number of gopher tortoises moved onto the runway of the airport right after Miss Lawrence got off her flight. Some environmentalist silence on the radio pointed to unrestricted development in the surrounding area as the primary cause of the migration. It looks like I won't be leaving Siren's Call anytime soon. How unfortunate. Goodbyes failed. Try again. Another day in paradise. Guess I better get on it. Hey there, Vi. Alright, I've got promises to keep, so I think I'm gonna head out. Okie dokes. Do what you need to do. Dream big out there, alright? I'll see you back at the house. Hey there, Oliver. Lovely weather we're having today, huh? Lovely weather. It's the same as it has always been, dude. What am I supposed to do with something that fake? True to form, Ash is sitting outside the crab bucket, and thumbing through his phone. Worship. After church, Judy and I tried to escape back to her house like we normally do. Funny enough, we saw Andy jogging down Flagler after we peeled out of the parking lot. She flipped us the bird as we drove past, but even so, she looked happy. Pretty sure I've only ever seen her once or twice at church, the entirety of the time I've known her, and on holidays no less. I'd bet money that after a certain point the twins' parents basically gave up on trying to get Andy to go with them. It's probably for the best, though. I could never imagine jiving with that kind of crowd. But maybe exercise his own kind of worship. I asked Judy what she thought, and she just said that as long as her sister was happy, then that's all she cared about. I can't imagine that being true, but I hope it is. We only ever have about 30 minutes or so before the rest of the family comes back from communion, so I asked Judith if she had given Violet's situation any thought once we're home. I know all of us worry about her, but I think Judith gets where I'm coming from more than anybody else, even if she keeps the exact details private. We both know the amount of makeup work Violet will have to do in order to graduate is crazy. We also know from Miss Lawrence that the school gets extra money from Violet going there. After all, they need a lot of resources to take care of somebody with epilepsy. Lip service aside, it's clear the rest of the faculty would be jubilant if a cash cow like Violet had to stay behind another year. Miss Lawrence even heard one of the coaches call Violet football money. Apparently that guy got a crotch full of hot coffee in the faculty room later that week. Violet and I were told on the way home from school that it was a happy little accident. I brought up the idea of us forging some of Violet's work so she didn't have to do it all by herself. It was then Judith, the shining platinum president of the student council, said something I never thought I'd hear someone of her caliber say. Well, we all better start practicing our handwriting then. Those teachers of hers aren't stupid. If we're going to do this, we're going to have to do it right. I'll start practicing her penmanship with my next entry. It's kind of weird, though, sight, now that I think about it. I don't think we ever planned an exact time for meeting up. Is it cool to chill out here in the heat for an indefinite period of time like this? What if I never showed up, or got in some kind of crazy accident on the way over? Would he end up waiting for me all day? For someone so explosive, this guy has the patience of a saint. Hey, dude. Greetings, friend. Is it true that you're paying for my steakhouse burger today? Think of it as a parting gift for always making you pay for my pizza during finals. But get water to drink or something, right? The sodas here are like $3. No worries, I'll just do what I always do. You mean that thing with the sugar packets and lemon slices? You know they get mad at us whenever you do that, right? Lemonade is on the menu, my guy. I promise they don't want you making it yourself. Andy says she saw one of the cooks spit in our food last time you did it. Now that's not professional at all. Like, if I want to add a lemon slice and a sugar packet to my water, why can't I do that? Honestly, I wouldn't be like, oh, do I need to be on better behavior at this restaurant? No, I'm just never going to eat here again. Like, you tell me this, like, I don't even want to eat here now, even if you're paying for my food. I want to go somewhere else now. I don't want to eat here anymore. You're telling me they spit in our food because I put a fucking sugar packet in my glass of water. Yeah, I don't want to eat here anymore. I doubt that's what happened. She just hates us eating here. Food is too greasy or whatever. Besides, I'm pretty sure the staff is used to it at this point. Right. Well, I'm hungry. Let's get some food. We make our way over to the group's regular table and browse the menus. The fatigue I feel from this morning is swelling inside my brain like a wart, as the hiss of nearby grills and chatter of the diner's patrons fries my already worn senses. We order quickly, both of us knowing the food itself is more of a formality than anything. We're not here to eat, we're here to talk. But that's fine. All I gotta do is be a good friend and listen to him for one more day, and then we're good. Just one more day, and then everyone will be fine. As soon as the two bubbly waitresses leave our table, Ashton turns my way. I gotta be real with you, man. Things were really boring before I met you. And even after that, I was still pretty sure that summer was going to be lame. Yep, there it is. I took a pair of sugar packets out of the condiment stand and began making them dance. Because you were going to work with your dad to be mobile before we began our little crusade, right? Ashton fiddles with the bandage on his wrist, before eventually squeezing it with his right hand. Basically, yeah. Siren's Call is a pretty boring place if you don't have anybody around to make it livelier, you know? I didn't want to drag you guys into the do crazy, though. So I was just going to keep the simple work with my dad until whenever. Ashton lifts his head and sits up straight, looking over at his injury. Never thought we'd end up becoming actual heroes. I appreciate all you did to help make that happen, dude. So, thank you. I know that's what I should say. I should say he was amazing. I should let him feel good about himself. Even if it's not exactly, I know I should say something along those lines. Anything more honest would be devastating for him to hear, especially today. I'm the leader of the Midnight Guard. I'm his friend. Making everyone happy is my purpose. I know this is my purpose. And yet, please don't thank me for any of that, Ash. You can think whatever you want about yourself, but I'm not anything close to a hero. I don't think any less of you guys. But I'm not too proud with how I've handled things this summer. I'm sorry, Ash, I really am. But I just can't talk about heroics right now. It's too much. I'm just too exhausted. With that, the reality of what just happened sets in. For a moment there is silence. The same silence that follows when a gallon of milk drops your hands and explodes on the floor. The kind of silence only born after something has been broken. Okay, I get it. So Violet got to you pretty hard then, huh? Man, you know that just because you're dating somebody doesn't mean you gotta think exactly like them. You do know that, don't you? You gotta be her mouthpiece, dude. You don't. You can be your own man, you can be real with me. After all, we're like brothers at this point, right? Real, huh? I can be real with you, Ashton. Really? Even in a place like this, I can be real with you. Alright, good. That was all I needed to hear. He gave me permission, after all. Okay, cool. I can be real now. Cool. Good to know. Let's start with the obvious stuff, then. We don't even really know what the sirens are, and yet I gave the thumbs up to begin an entire campaign exterminating them. Why should I feel proud about that? Wait, what? That's not true. We know what the sirens are. Emil says, Bro, Emil doesn't even know how to do his taxes yet. I know you love the guy, but come on. We just gotta get out of high school. We shouldn't be committing freaking genocide. Man, I don't even know what my major is gonna be when I get to Asheville. If I don't even know something that basic, then how would I know enough to justify the decimation of an entire foreign ecosystem? The truth is, I knew jack all about what we were doing. Yet I still gave the okay on everything. And that's all on me, dude. That's on me forever. Maybe we were right and the sirens were just stupid monsters or whatever. But what if we were wrong? What if they were something we should just left alone? Left alone? What the hell, dude? Those things were goddamn monsters. We had to kill them. They were dangerous. So what? Huh? They were dangerous, but so what? We didn't want to kill them because they were dangerous. They were stuck on rocks in the middle of the underworld, Ash. If we really wanted to help you, we could have just destroyed the locker leading to there or something. Kinda hard to have something dangerous call out to you if you can't even hear it, right? But no, I was bored and wanted to be a hero. So we killed them. Should have just isolated them instead. I should have distanced myself. What? You mean run away? Seems like a pretty chicken shit move, if you ask me. You really cool at doing something so cowardly, amigo? Cowardly? Ash, you're the only brave you're choosing to do with yourself is actually necessary. But what we did in the underworld was just gratuitous. I don't know for sure what they were, but it doesn't matter. Whatever they were, they clearly didn't want to die. They didn't need to die, I could feel it. And I know you could feel it too. So yeah, lots for me to be proud of already. Dude, you're shouting, people can hear you. Keep it down. Oh please, it's not like I'm disturbing them or anything. They can't feel anything negative now, right? I killed all the sirens, so everyone's happy now. I saved them. I saved everyone, just like I was supposed to. So why not be proud of it, right? There's nothing to be ashamed of, after all. I yelled the last part if only to evoke a reaction from the people around me. But of course nothing happens. Like shadows in the background of a painting, everyone else in the diner is static, unchanging in their idle chatter and pleasantries. See? Nothing. Turns out screwing around in the collective unconscious every night and killing what lives there has consequences. Not for us, of course, but whatever. Ashton slams his fist on the table and glares at me. I'm telling you, man, shut up. You're not being rational right now. It doesn't matter what Violet thinks. There's going to be real consequence if you keep running your mouth like this. What, you mean like jail? Please, we're the ones that saved everybody. We're heroes, just like you said. Sure, we didn't ask anybody if they wanted a huge chunk of their cognition wiped out, but who cares, am I right? We did the right thing, obviously. There's no way we'd be actually punished. Maybe a slap on the wrist for going above the heads of the cops, but nothing more than that. Heck, I doubt the cops can even conceptualize something negative as crime at this point. The only consequences for us are the ones we place upon ourselves, which is why you guys are all ignoring Violet like the plague. Can't have... I didn't get to read that. Ashton gets up the table and pulls me out of my seat by the collar of my shirt. Can't have us all actually being accountable and... Okay, I'm getting sick of this crazy talk. None of that is why Violet's gone, and you know it. Wake up, man. This isn't how you're supposed to be. We live in Siren's Call. Siren's Call, Florida. It's not exactly Manhattan, you dig? Half of the people who live here are too chill to be angry about shit. They've always been like this. The stuff about killing their brains, or whatever is all in your head. We did the right thing. I know we did. So stop trying to make me feel like crap for saving people. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, Ash. Bullshit. Why else would you be running your mouth like this? You need to reel it back right now. It's really, really not cool. There's a tangible panic in those last few words Ashton says to me. It comes across as less of a threat and more of a plea. I know this face. I'm close now, aren't I? I'm close to reaching him in some way. I'm sorry, Ash, but there's still one more thing that needs to break, if anything is ever going to change. Okay, you're probably right. These people here aren't brain dead, they're just chill. And I've been so busy with you guys all summer that I probably never even noticed. Yeah, exactly. It's the way things are here, you know? Especially in the summer. All the geezers and snowbirds are just sleepy from the heat. It makes sense. Oh, definitely. Definitely. It's unlikely the stuff we did in the other world had any drastic side effects. If it did, we probably would have noticed them by now. Yeah. killing the seed would have affected everybody we know that lives here. Even the people we live with would have changed too, right? Ashton's face freezes in shock. Right. That reminds me. How's your dad been doing after all this? I'm stopped before I can finish my sentence. The force of Ashton's fist sends me reeling across the table and into a wall. The impact shoots some of the air out of my lungs, making it impossible for me to respond to what he says next. Dad's doing great. He's the happiest he's ever been. Thanks for asking. He hasn't had a drop of booze since July. He cooks dinner with me now too, chops potatoes and everything. Hell, yesterday he went on a dawn patrol and got some waves together. You're right, it's like he's a completely different person. So if I had something to do with that, then I refuse to think of myself as anything other than a hero. As he says this, I can feel the air fill my lungs again. I grab the edge of my chair and pull myself off the floor. And you're really okay with that? You're okay with such a drastic, irreversible change? Are you stupid? Of course I am. He hasn't been this much of a father to me since I was 12. That's because that's all he can be, Ash. It's the same as how our waitress can only be a waitress now, or the mailman can only talk about the mail. Everybody in town has been completely swallowed by the rules, because that's the only thing we didn't murder. I'm happy for you, dude, but are you really okay with your dad being your dad, and nothing else? Are you cool with having every other part of who he is ripped away? We are not murderers. Well, we sure as shit ain't heroes. We sure as shit aren't heroes. You don't need to be perfect. Your dad doesn't need to be perfect. You didn't love him any less when he was depressed, right? Even after all this, you know he's still an incredible man. And you're still my friend. We can come back from this somehow. We can start fresh. We don't need to lie about, shut up. I am not starting over again. Fuck, man. You were so much more likable when you weren't so goddamn preachy. So you know what? What do you mean 500 for meditation? That's expensive as fuck. I'm gonna beat you down until you go back to how you should be. As our friend's threat rings throughout diner, a smiling waitress gently places our food on the now disheveled table. Without another word, Ashton charges me. Conviction. Oh, I have no friends. Spend the rest of the day making my way over to the beach, hoping I'll find Violet there. Sure enough, she's in her normal spot, painting something on one of the larger canvases. Hey, Violet. Hey there, Olive Oil. I walk over and sit next to her in the sand. A minute or two of painting, Violet reaches a stopping point, looks over at me on the ground. Oliver, you didn't have a big purple bruise on the side of your face last time I saw you. You got into some trouble recently, didn't you? Ash kind of beat me up a bit, yeah. Beat you up with his muse, or beat you up in more of a traditional sense? Old school, he just punched me a whole lot. I said stuff he didn't like about mending a guard. Basically, I was comfortable with him calling me a hero with that. Then I asked how the old man was doing after we killed the seed, and I think that might have sent him over the top. Yep. Why am I not surprised? None of them are ready yet, are they? Damn it. Did you fight back? Is that why you're so beat up? I mean, yeah, kinda, but I didn't really want to. Then why did you? You didn't want to, and you didn't need to, then why did you? I don't know, Vi. Instincts? What else is this supposed to do? The man was charging me down. No idea. I don't see what you have to gain by fighting him, though. I guess. Violet stops painting and gives me a light hug as she lowers herself into the sand. Sorry, Olive Oil. Honestly, in the heat of the moment, I probably would have done something similar. It's okay if you don't want to handle things perfectly. You've got all kinds of time to make things right by yourself. It doesn't make you less of a person if you made a mistake. Even mistakes can lead to something beautiful. And sometimes mistakes can lead to absolute disaster. We've experienced disaster, Oliver, an irreversible disaster. If this scuffle with Ash really was a disaster, then you would know immediately. But as it stands, all of this is just an hour badly spent. Forgive yourself. The loss of yours is no disaster. Damn it, Vi. You know I love that poem. Well, loved that poem at the very least. She runs her fingers through my hair, another sweet attempt to brush out these wistful, stagnant thoughts of ours. After doing that for a bit, she stands up and cheeks the sky. Still overcast, huh? Violet checks the time on her phone. Yep. No launch today, it seems. That's fine. Just give it time. Come on, let's go home. You got your future waiting for you in the morning, mister. So let's get you ready for it. Violet and I go home and pack the rest of my things. Another day in paradise. Dads. Ash had to be a couple hours late for a meeting today. Apparently his dad had another one of those low days he's been having lately, and Ash didn't feel comfortable leaving him alone. I've noticed these episodes of his becoming more frequent the closer we get to May. Violet says it could be a particular something called empty nest syndrome. She didn't elaborate. Judith says it could have something to do with graduation being such a family event. Ashton's mom being dead is probably really taking its toll again, while Andy just thinks that the man is another worthless deadbeat. Emil calls the rest of them nosy. I don't know what to think, though. Every time I've interacted with Fred, he's been really nice. He brags about every little thing Ash does, or has done. He points to the old surf trophies above the fireplace that Ash and his mom won back then. He tells us stories about them while Ash chops potatoes in the kitchen. He talks about how great his boy is at customer service, too. Things like that. It's all stuff Ash is probably embarrassed about, but never fights him on, even though he fights with us basically everything. Maybe there's just something here I'm not seeing. Ash sees it, though. He told us a long time ago that while he started working at the B-Mobile, he said it was easier to keep him from doing something stupid. It makes me wonder, is it better to have a father that obviously loves their child, but hates himself? Or a father that has so much conviction in their own parenting technique that their child's love is an inconsequential factor? I don't know. Oliver's comparing his own father with Ashton's. But part of me wonders what it's like to be bragged about like that. Maybe the embarrassment that follows is one of those secret little luxuries of life. Even if it's just embarrassment, that's probably fine too. Something weird just happened. It's only 9 and Ash has already mastered Violet's handwriting. He didn't give me any trouble either. He just did it. Now this left is Andy and we can move on to some of the Violet's actual work. Andy's done now too. I have no words. 0 words. Rough day, huh? Don't worry, Olive. None of this is something you can't figure out. Just be patient with yourself. Tomorrow is a new day, a better day. Checks her phone, looks at the sky for a second before turning to me. And better means being better or better. Violet and I go home. Another day in paradise. Run away. That's right. That was always an option. I don't have to fight him. I don't need to fight him. Even if I could win, what good would come of it? If Ashton is regressing back to his old self, then the only way for me to help him is not feed into this behavior. I slide past my friend and run out the door of the diner. You're a fucking coward, Oliver. Ashton's voice is close behind me. What I say next most surprised that incites me. I don't care. I can't help but smile after saying that. I hurl myself as hard as I can down the endless gray of the sidewalk. After chasing me around for what feels like an hour, Ashton stops running and collapses on a nearby bench. I sit down next to him, equally exhausted. Are you sure? That's a good idea. Don't care. I can't run anymore. Me neither. You're still getting punched, just give me a bit. For a minute or two, we just sit there, marinating in our own exhaustion. Man, I worked really hard to give this crap up. And now you got me chasing me down like people like it's high school again. Worked so hard, so why couldn't you just let me have this? I'm not trying to take anything away from you, Ash. I just don't feel great about how I've handled things this summer, that's all. Then you should have kept it to yourself, asshole. You forced out by feeding me all that crap about us being heroes. Kinda hard to keep that much garbage in your system all at once. Damn it, you are so getting punched. We keep looking at the sidewalks, we catch our breath, watching nondescript people do nondescript things. This really sucks. I didn't want it to be like this. I only wanted to hang out for a bit before you left. I know, I'm sorry, man. I wasn't trying to bring you down, but I couldn't keep acting like I was some great hero or whatever. It just doesn't feel real. Ashton shrugs. Real, huh? I didn't know that was the kind of thing someone like you even cared about. Oh well, I guess this was going to happen eventually. Maybe Violet only wants us to be real about all this because she could tell you were feeling something like that by yourself. Huh? Wait, really? Are you sure about that? A roguish smirk crawls across Ashton's otherwise exhausted face. Pretty sure, after thinking about everything a little more, it makes some sense. You weren't speaking for Violet back there, she was speaking for you the whole time. I'm sure she believes a bunch of that stuff about the sirens herself, but you two still live together, right? Well, we do, but so what? So, she probably saw something eating away at you after everything went down the way it did. And then, after seeing that, she spoke on your behalf, so you wouldn't get chewed out in front of everybody. That's surprisingly insightful. It's not surprising, dude. Couples do that shit like all the time. Even with my own painfully limited romantic experience, I still know that kind of stuff is pretty normal. Wait, experience? Well, experience might be the wrong word. Forget about it. Shit's not important right now. What I'm trying to say is, I know we've been giving her lots of crap lately, but Violet's still quite the woman, you know? Take it from me, most people our age aren't that mature. You're lucky to have someone like that in your life, someone who's actually into you. So don't screw things up by saying something dumb and making her dump you, alright? I look back out towards the sidewalk. I don't really have much say in any of that anymore, unfortunately. Violet only agreed to date me if we both promised to split up after I leave for college. Oh damn, for real? That sucks. I had no idea. Still, Vi is not the kind of person to make you agree to something like that weird, just for shits or giggles. There's gotta be a good reason for it. Pretty sure you two aren't the kind of people that are cut out for long-distance relationships anyway, no offense. Guess not. That's why you're not gonna get yourself a cell phone either, right? He looks over to me. I take a deep breath, rejuvenating breath to clear my head. Hey, Ash? Yep. If you're gonna punch me again, can you get over with already? I'm not too big fan of delaying the inevitable, you know? I say this and Ashton laughs like a drunken warlord. Oh really now, is that so? Nah, I've already decided I'm not gonna hit you. I still want to hit something though, if I'm gonna be real about it. Ashton points to a furniture store across the street. Let's go there, I need to buy myself a new pillow anyway. Without even waiting for a response, Ashton jumps up and starts walking over to the store. Still exhausted, but waking up, I follow after my friend. Ashton and I spent around an hour inside of the furniture store. As hasty as he was to get over here, he seems very deliberate about exactly what kind of pillow he wants to buy. In the end, he picks one made of sort of memory foam and then pays for it using the money he was going to spend on our food. We find ourselves somewhere around the park. Ashton hovers at the edge of an old dock and stares out over the water. You were right about my dad, by the way. Ever since the end of July, he's been completely different. A fully committed father with no self-destructive tendency whatsoever. He's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I plant myself next to Ashton on the dock. So is what you said before true, then? Are you really okay with that? Man, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. It works out great for me, obviously, and I'm sure he's happy. But it's not like he was ever a real danger to anyone but himself. He may have brooded a bit too much when he was drinking, but he was never completely out of his mind. Hell, forget his mind. Once work was over, he was never even out of the freaking house. I think he knew how dangerous that would have been. Even when he was drunk, he was still a real person. He was still his own man. But now it's like a big chunk of his actual brain is missing. He's more of a cartoon character than a real person now. He didn't get to choose if he wanted to be like that either. I chose for him. I chose for everybody. And I think that's what bugs me the most. Ashton squeezes the pillow he bought against the side of his body. Hey, do you think all that stuff she said was true? What we did to their brains when we killed that thing? Do you think it's permanent? I probably shouldn't sugarcoat this. Yeah, I think it might be. Or at least how it's starting to look. Do you think it's fatal then? Damn, Ash, that's... I don't know, man. I sure hope it's not. But even if it is, you shouldn't put all the blame on yourself. If I actually stopped and thought about the consequences of killing the sirens, then maybe we could have found a solution that didn't result in something so drastic. But none of us said anything. Not even Violet. In the end, we all wanted to romp around in the brains and be big dumb heroes. So we're all responsible for this, Ashton, not just you. He nods. For a while, we both just sit there, looking out to the water. So if all this stuff is true, then I haven't really grown up at all. I still solve all my problems by rushing in and beating them down until they're not problems anymore. So if that's still how I do things, then I haven't really changed, have I? That's not true. There's no way you haven't changed. It may not feel like much, but you absolutely aren't the same person you were back in junior year. None of us are. Bullshit, you can't prove that. Well, you aren't shoving ammo into lockers anymore, so that's a start. I mean, okay, normal lockers, Ash. And I know, it's probably not saying much, but you have way better taste now that you aren't in high school. At least as far as friends go. But is that even good enough? Is that enough of a change? This was my last summer vacation, Oliver. I had 3 months left, and all of this shit we did really can't be taken back. Then at this rate, I'll never be the kind of man I want to be. I know that's a stupid thing to care about, considering everything that's happened. But I'm scared, dude. I'm scared I'll just keep rushing in and making things worse forever. I'm scared that's all the cool shit I've done in my life, just fiction. I'm scared I'll never be an actual hero. You know what? I think that's fine. I think it's more than enough that you aren't such a bully anymore. It's enough that you care about your dad and all of us, and wanted to help the town. Even if it backfired horribly, I think it says a lot that you didn't want to be the kind of person anymore. And I know we like to throw the word around a bunch, but I don't even know what being a hero actually means. Do you? I mean, I thought I did. But no, I guess not. So fuck it. Fuck being a hero. It's just like with your dad, right? He didn't have to be perfect in order for you to love him. So, you don't need to be either. As long as you don't become somebody you despise, then I think that's enough to get you where you need to be. At least for now it is. Maybe. I don't know what I'm going to do now that all this is over, though. You mean the stuff we did in the underworld, or like summer in general? I don't know. Both? Yeah, me neither. Given the circumstances, it'd be a little weird if we did. Wait, really? You really don't know what you're doing? I thought you were only one of us that had it figured out. Aren't you going to college, my dude? Oh, right. Well, that's what Miss Lawrence says I should do, at least. And Mom and Dad are always on board with all of her ideas anyway, so... maybe you should try to give your folks a call or something before you leave, or something. Maybe that would help patch things up. There's no point in me doing something like that. Patched up or not, some things aren't worth the risk. You feel me? Don't worry, I'm going to college. That should be more than enough to keep them distracted for a while. Besides, I'm pretty sure I lost their phone number back in June. I couldn't contact them even if they wanted me to. And they don't? I'm not worth getting drunk over, Ash. And even if I was, not every father turns to the drink due to an all-consuming concern for their amazing badass of a son. Some dads, no. Some parents are just kind of there, like broken pottery. They don't feel that deeply. They can't hold anything. They just take up space. It's whatever. Right. You're never actually gonna own a cell phone then, are you? Probably not, no. Figures. And you're not coming back once you leave either, right? I don't know what I'm gonna do after college, to be honest. But yeah, it's not likely. Not very manly to run away from your problems like that, Captain. Kinda makes you look like a coward, doesn't it? What an absolute blessing it is to no longer worry about being a coward. Still say this sounds like Black Sabbath. Ashton looks my way and smiles. Well, as a former coward myself, I don't think I can be friends with somebody so wimpy. Somebody that might end up rubbing off me after a while. And in the long run, that's way too risky for me and my old man. Know what I mean? Ashton stands up, lifts me off the ground with his uninjured hand. Thanks for that. You might be a wimp, but you could have easily gotten up by yourself. No need to thank me, right? No, I mean, for you making this so easy. I was certain that saying goodbye to everyone was going to turn out much, much worse than this.